Please as well.
Yes, my name is Kathy Parson, head women's basketball coach at Central State University. To my left is Naomi Shorts, who was the phenomenal point guard in today's game. To my right is Kaylin Nash, who is first conference first team. So of course, I'm very proud of her. And then to her right is Bunny Deshanti Miller, who was a beast on the boards today. And it's really amazing to have these quality young women because they're very, very young people. Two on my right are sophomores, and to my left is a junior college transfer. So this is all very new to all of us.
Awesome, awesome. So start off with some just opening comments. How do you feel? How did your team perform just from the coach's perspective?
From the coach's perspective, I'm happy to have a win. It wasn't the prettiest of games, but I'm really, really pleased because initially the ideal was we were going to close out stronger than we normally do. With the new founded closeouts, they were crapping the bed. They didn't have room, we got a lead, we jumped on them, and then fatigue hit us. So once you deal with that, it's like, okay, now my players know closing out strong works, but can we sustain it? So I think they can tell you the story because they lived it. I think from my perspective, I'm pleased to have another day to play. And this is my first win in the SIAC, so I am overjoyed, and I'm happy to be the coach of these amazing young women.
Awesome, awesome. That's great. Ladies, would you all mind speaking about your performances today?
Like Coach said, defense, she's been reiterating defense for the past actually all year, but these last few days she's been reiterating it a lot. So I feel like tonight we really played good defense as a team. We had a good team win. Everybody showed a lot of good effort, and like she said, they crapped the bed.
I just appreciate us because we did a good job capitalizing and putting forth the effort to close out the game well. I think it's just us looking to get better for the next game, prepare, and take things to the next level.
I feel like my team did a really good job jumping on them in the first quarter because at first they didn't have any points. So we did a really good job there. And coach, like my teammate said, was throwing defense on us hard. We were going over defense the whole practices. So I feel like we just performed the way she wanted us to perform. We worked as a team. We had a lot of synergy and pulled off the win.
Coach, you talk about defense. Obviously, not the best shooting night for CSU,
Right.
but defensively, you forced 28 turnovers on them. You got to be happy with that.
Very, very pleased. I think because we're such a new program from the standpoint of meshing and understanding concepts, I believe that we're a little behind, but I'm happy to be in a race. I remember when we would have had the 28 turnovers. So from that perspective, I'm overjoyed. I think because my young women are understanding more of who I am. For the longest, I didn't think they understood who was coaching them. So of course, it was such an insult because I got young people that don't listen. But now they listen. So I think from that perspective, we're growing. And I'm certainly pleased and proud and grateful for the amazing young women that I coach. I know these great young women upon graduation will do amazing things. And I believe that will be because of the time spent together when learning how to harness your greatness even under tough circumstances. So I think that today was really indicative of that. It wasn't all pretty. Sometimes it wasn't easy. Sometimes it was downright hard, and they persevered. So I'm pleased with that.
You talk about the challenge, and this question is more so for Kaylin. So you guys were in control for most of the game. You're up 8-0 early, as Deshanti said, and then all of a sudden, I think it was late third quarter or mid-fourth, they kind of catch fire from three. They actually get their lead. They only led for about 2 minutes today. What's Coach telling you guys at that point, and how'd you come back to eventually go on to win by 11 points?
Really, like she said, she was telling us to close out strong, and we were getting tired. So, the rotations weren't there. We really had to put emphasis on number 5. They really had some great shooters, but we just did our best to run them off the line. We had to stop them from getting off those shots.
And Naomi, question for you. And you scored double figures now, I think 3 straight games, and this being your season high 15. So what's changed from early part, mid-season to the last maybe 2 weeks of the season?
Yeah, I think when I first got here, like Coach said, we didn't really we didn't really know who was coaching us. And I feel like these last few games, I've been relying on her more. I've been starting to show that I'm her, but on the court, she's been telling me to just stay poised, like throughout the whole season, and like just have rhythm. So I feel like tonight, I really showed that, and I was a leader on the court. So I think that's what's changed.
And then DeShanti, my last question's for you. Sort of a consistent press. Played 30 minutes tonight. Consistent presence, 17 rebounds, 14 points, 8 for 11 from the line, and a big block shot and rebound towards the end there. I think when they were kind of, the game was kind of in the, in decision. Just overall statement how you played.
I would say I played the way my coach wanted me to play for the most part. She always tells me that I don't jump. So I was trying to jump forward and, just help my team carry out any way that I could. I just had to be aggressive on the boards and help my team in that way.
And Coach, short turnaround to get ready for the #1 seed on Wednesday, Tuskegee.
Well, when I think about them, the last time we played them, they beat us by 14. Our first team crapped a bit. Our second team actually looked amazing. So if we can get a combination of the two and figure out, we got 2 ankles turned today. Can they get back? Can they help us in that way? Anything's possible. Anything, and I'm a person of faith. I believe for all the greatness. And I believe for those of us who believe in prayer, it's the person that goes out and demonstrates that thing. Because you can pray all you want, but you got to go put it to action. So you got to make it work. There's nothing magical about it. This is hard work. Got to be ready to do this work. So looking forward to do the work.
Testify, hallelujah.
Yeah, I have one question. So, like, as you think about this game, what happened in this game, that you do not want to see as you go deeper into the playoffs?
I want us to shoot the ball better. I don't know if you know who I am. I am the leading scorer in the history of women's basketball at West Virginia University. I know how to shoot. I know how to score. So I've taught them all.
Right.
But I think sometimes they freeze. You're like, oh, is it really real? And I think I want them to have the same confidence that I have in them when it comes to approaching shooting. I felt like we got great performances. She knocked down a couple of critical threes at critical times for us. I think she's got the spirit. So you have to have that kind of spirit. I think my point guard is understanding. We ran isolation to her so that you can either draw a foul or pull up and drop it. So I'm looking at the level of excellence that we're trying to ascribe to. So I'm asking us not to turn the ball over, keep protecting the ball, and let's get each other in rhythm to knock down shots.
That's all I have.
I got one question. So what was the turning point? You talked about coach, they didn't know who they had, in a coach. So players, what was that turning point in the season that was like, okay, it's time for us to trust her?
She's the newest, so
Yeah.
I think she can answer it the best.
For me personally, I feel like I started to rely on her probably, I would say January, because she was on me. She was like, what are you doing? I brought you here to lead. I wasn't leading. I wasn't doing nothing. I was actually hurting the team. So I feel like that was a turning point for me. And ever since, I just started to, lean on her and just have an open line of communication and just be honest with her. And yeah.
And I think the flip side of that is I was very honest with her. I told her one day, you are not my point guard. And I think that shook her up. And now we're managing to become each other's, the oneness that you have to be successful.
Awesome. So last question, if you had to describe Central State Marauders women's basketball in one word, what would it be and why?
Sheesh. One word.
Tenacious. Because if we don't become tenacious, we don't get our heads handed to us. So we've got to become tenacious.
Good job, Coach.
Players, y'all agree?
You find your own word. I give them vocabularies every day.
I would say, what's a good word? Rhythmatic.
Very
Coach
good.
teaches us to be rhythmatic in everything we do, whether it's dribbling, passing, shooting. So, yeah.
Awesome.
Aggression.
Okay, aggression.
I'm gonna go off that too. I would say strong. We're strong when it comes to finishing plays, when we have to, when it matters the most. So,
Awesome. Well, thank you, ladies, and congratulations on a great win.
Thank you so much.